All right, take three. This could be a bit of a trip down memory lane. What I have in here, I think, are some components that I brought with me from the Strat-O-Matic, my copy of Strat-O-Matic. I don't have all of them with me here. Some of them are still with family in Canada, like the box and some of the teams and things like that. But I did bring some of the charts, as well as just a project that I worked on that I'd done a long time ago with this game. And I think the project itself is sort of what kept me connected. Like, even though I got away from playing tabletop hockey games for 20, close to 25 years, there was something about one particular project, and I know I still have some of the old, paper sheets of paper in here that just, I never really forgot about it. It never went away, even though I didn't do it for a very long time. And so, anyway, I thought I would talk about Strat-O-Matic hockey, believe it or not, because even though it's a game that I no longer play and no longer really have any desire to play, there definitely was a time in my life where I played it a lot. I think that, like a lot of people, I got started with Strat-O-Matic. I think it's because it's a little more well known, and I remember as a kid looking at like Hockey Digest and other hockey magazines and seeing the little advertisements for it in the back, or on one of the pages or whatever. And yeah, so I ended up finally, and the advertisements I remember were quite well. Those ads were quite well written. And so, yeah, I ended up probably early in adolescence just getting the game and some couple of seasons for it. And what I ended up doing, actually, one of the seasons that I got was the 1960 NHL season. And at one point, I took it and decided that I wanted a league. And this is sort of a theme with a lot of my replays. I like competitive leagues where all the teams are closely matched. I just do. And so I redrafted the entire league all on my own. It was a complete, one man operation, and I'm not even sure which envelope that those are in. But I mean, I've been talking about it for a couple of minutes now. So, but yeah, this is what remains of my Strat-O-Matic stuff, and these might just all be empty score sheets. So, I guess if I ever want to start playing Strat-O-Matic again, I've got lots of score sheets available. But I don't know. I look at Strat-O-Matic as like an old ex girlfriend, I guess. You wish them well, but there's zero desire to revisit the relationship. You can tell that's a pretty old book there. I think that's shown it's signs of the time, aging, and wear. And I don't remember drinking coffee actually that young, but that would appear to be a coffee stain. Um, so yeah, things like this. I had fictitious teams, and I guess I was even into the tallies. Then I figured out that if I were to use pencil and eraser, no matter how light I pressed, it would wear down. It would make the page look like a mess faster. So I was even doing that back then for certain things, anyway, not for goals against, evidently. But yeah, I had these fictitious teams. The Dragons was one of them. This is such geeky, dorky kind of stuff. The Monsters was another. Again, keep in mind I was 10, 12 years old coming up with this stuff. I mean, not that I wouldn't necessarily now, but the Warriors is another. And yeah, so I had the Warriors, the Serpents, the Dragons, the Monsters, the Animals. There you go. I couldn't think of an animal to name a team after, and the Animals had the Bouchard brothers on them. Lo and behold. And Bobby Hull. How did they not completely dominate? I see more losses than wins. And the Bombers as well. So I haven't seen this stuff in a long time. I can't actually remember the outcome of this, but this was the project actually that, as I say, kept me connected. I don't even remember what the SHO stands for. Um, yeah, no idea there. But I guess this was the schedule that I did up, so I made sure that each team had 10 home and 10 away games, which, again, was Strat-O-Matic. I mean, it was a longer play game and I was younger, so... Well, there you go. I still don't know what the SHO stands for, but standings, scoring leaders. I guess Bronco Horvath, that was his big sort of career year. He was kind of a one-year wonder. And so I actually thought the season that I played for this was a little longer. Maybe there's another file that, or not really file, but another collection of loose leaf here. And apparently even some transactions were made during the season. Dick Duff and John Hanna were signed by the Bombers on game day 6, I guess I called it. And Dennis Regan. Anyway, this is all, I may not even upload this. This is all geek dork stuff from 25 years ago. These sheets of paper here from like back in the mid 90s. Um, I guess the Warriors were the champions. That makes me want to go and look and see the roster, who they had on it. Would have been Don McKinney and Bernie Geoffrion, Gary Alcorn. I can't remember Jay Wilson, Ken Schinkel, Camille Henry, Phil Goyette, Billy McNeil, perhaps, Andre Pronovost, Stan Mikita, who somehow found his way down this lineup or just wasn't contributing much, and John McKenzie, also pointless. I did find goals hard to come by, actually, as I was playing out this project, and I think one reason for that, I might have been, so I could get through it more quickly, I might have been going 6-3-6 on the forward line and defense line changes. I would just use 3 lines and 2 defense pairs, as you can probably tell by this, like 5 defensemen per team and not too many forwards. The rosters weren't that large. If I had any fringe players, I didn't draft them. I guess this was the playoffs, probably best 2 out of 3. And yeah, the Strat-O-Matic Cup winners. Maybe I just called it the Strat-O-Matic Hockey something, I'm not sure. Apparently something like salary caps at some point. I feel like this indicates to me that there might have actually been another season that I'm just forgetting, because again, this was like a quarter of a century ago. But again, I have my monikers, my team nicknames that at least I thought were hot and cool way back then. And so this is, I don't know what you call this. I didn't feel like messing up another game tonight, so call this an exercise in humility or humiliation. Yeah, I was such a geek then, and let me see here what else. I don't know what that is. Let's see here. Probable All-Star game lineups. Yeah. Good teams those were. And some more score sheets and things. Actually, and these would have been actual game score sheets. Again, there were a lot of low-scoring games. I think maybe it's because I did have the teams so evenly matched that even if one would defeat the other, here's a game that the Warriors defeated the Bombers by a score of 1-0. I'm sure a real exciting route that was. But again, despite how it might appear, appearances aside, again, this was really the project that a couple of summers ago in the off season, when I was just craving some hockey and just really had the desire to revisit this kind of stuff, my thoughts wandered back to this. And in the process of actually looking to maybe reacquire Strat-O-Matic on computer or whatever, is when I first discovered, however naive that I was over that long span of time, that there were indeed some other games. I'm not sure if I would have wanted, if 12-year-old me would have wanted to keep these in any particular order, but yeah, there you have a Game 1 best-of-3 series. I guess that's where the Serpents beat out the Bombers. So this is probably the regular season in some semblance of order, but anyway, that's that. So that's me and Strat-O-Matic Hockey, and I thought I would just show off a bit of an old project. I don't really have too much else here, I don't think, that's worth getting into. I brought some things with me that, sometimes it's just nice to look at things, to look to other things, working on a hockey game. I guess these are the old basic cards. And let's see here, the old chart, and just stuff that maybe had sentimental value to me, because the bulk of this game would be with family in Canada right now. So these would be the old original 6 teams, actually, the old 1960 season. There's the old split deck cards, quite possibly my sister's hair elastic. And look, it looks all glittery and stuff. And the old advanced action cards, those are pretty warped. So evidently I've not touched this stuff in a very long time. There's a very bent up, severely injured Bob Turner of Montreal, we'll say. And again, rather than play something and possibly mess it up for being tired on Friday night after first week back at work. Not that I took a long time off, I just took a little Christmas holiday, and I just kind of had a desire to revisit this stuff again. Hadn't looked at it in a while, maybe once or twice over the years since then. Once as I was packing it up to get ready to come back to Korea, which again, I brought some things just wanting to look at it for, just to help generate ideas for game design. I'm definitely not looking to steal Strat-O-Matic or any other hockey game. It's that would be ridiculous. I'm working on a few different hockey games, but it would be utterly pointless to steal something, because it's so much easier just to get something than to work on something of your own. For one reason, working on something all your own takes a lot more work and effort, and for another reason. I mean, it's a pretty small community anyway, so even if I tried to steal someone else's game and pass it off as my own, I think it'd be found out pretty quickly. But yeah, no, I have that stuff there to look at just for, I don't know, influence and guidance. And at one time, I was, uh, I think, pretty obviously quite an avid Strat-O-Matic player. And then I got away from it. I mean, I got a little older into high school and just kind of, this went by the wayside for a while there in life. And yeah, so revisited the hobby the other year, about a year and a half ago now, and started designing the game. And just the last time that I was able to get home, obviously pre COVID-19, I saw some of this stuff and just thought I would bring it back with me. Yeah, for various reasons. But anyway, so that's my little history, I guess, with Strat-O-Matic from a very long time ago. And even though, again, I have no desire to revisit it, certainly not at this time. And to be honest, probably never, though I should never say never. I'd say it's not looking good. Not that I don't completely fully support other people. If you want to play Strat-O-Matic, man, if that's your game, that's completely awesome. And I totally get it, because there was definitely a time, like a little era, I guess, in my life in my youth, where I really, really enjoyed playing Strat-O-Matic. But since getting back into the hobby, I guess I'm just, and discovering that there were other games out there. I just think there's so much more to offer, and so many other games that I prefer. In addition, kind of, to the games that I'm working on, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with my own stuff. Plus, to quote Mike Owens when he talks about playing his own games, what he said in his Digital to Dice interview, I play my own stuff analytically. So anyway, yeah, that's me and Strat-O-Matic, and I guess that's really about all that I have to say about it for now. So bye for now.